Welcome to London at night, and today we want to bring you two bridges which look absolutely beautiful each and every evening in London when they're all lit up. Here we're looking at the Albert Bridge, and we're also going to look at Chelsea Bridge as well, which is the next bridge along towards London. Here, the Albert Bridge, you're looking at some of the 4,000 total LED light bulbs that cover here, and yes, you can tell there are a few of them out that do need replacing. The bridge was originally opened in 1873 and links Battersea on the south side to Chelsea on the north. The Thames gives a brilliant mirror image of what you're looking at, and here we're looking at the Chelsea embankment with all the lights on there, and then down towards Battersea Bridge, which is the next bridge along, although it's actually further away from Battersea. When the bridge was built, it was believed it was going to be commercially viable from the tolls that they would take from people going across, and these are the original toll booths from 1873 still standing. It's interesting, note that sign that's still there. All troops must break step when marching over the bridge, and that was to stop the bridge from swaying. Sound familiar? Funny how history repeats itself. Let me tell you more about it. The bridge was nicknamed the Trembling Lady because of its tendency to vibrate when large numbers of people walked across it, and that's why you have the sign there asking troops to break step, in other words, not march in time, to stop the bridge from violently vibrating. For me, the architecture and the lit up parts of this bridge are absolutely beautiful, and for me almost rival Tower Bridge. The bridge was no longer a toll bridge after 6 years of operation because, guess what, it wasn't commercially viable, so the bridge was then taken into public ownership. Here we're looking up the Thames towards Westminster, but you can see the next bridge along, which is Chelsea Bridge, which we'll be looking at very shortly, and on the left hand side you can also see the glow of the Shard as well. And as we swing round we can see the cars coming down the Chelsea embankment, which runs parallel to the Thames. Always busy. The Albert Bridge is of unusual design. When it was originally opened, it was opened as a cable-stayed bridge, and because it was so structurally unsound, as we've talked about before, the next engineer added design elements of a suspension bridge. Then, in 1973, as the bridge was starting to wear away, the Greater London Council added 2 concrete piers, which transformed the central span into a simple beam bridge. This means the bridge today is a combination of all of these different 3 types of building ways. This has to be my favourite view, with the water reflecting the lights, and this is taken from the middle of Battersea Park, which you can walk along by the side of the Thames, and it's open 24 hours a day. And this gives you a view back over the Chelsea embankment. As we continue our journey up the River Thames, we come to the next bridge, which is Chelsea Bridge. Opened originally in 1858, this bridge also took tolls for the first few years before that was also discovered to be financially unviable. In fact, almost right from the start it became so unviable that they made it free to go across on a Sunday because of course you had the Albert Bridge, which was down the road. And interestingly enough, when the bridge was opened it was called the Victoria Bridge. It's interesting that within 3 years of the bridge opening, there were concerns about the bridge again being unstable. Isn't it funny how the world goes round? We've got the Millennium Bridge, which was closed for a couple of years after that fully opened. Anyway, they closed the bridge down. They then added additional support to the bridge and reopened it, but they didn't want the name being associated with the Queen and the reliability of suspension bridges, so they changed the name to Old Chelsea Bridge. So interestingly enough, we have 2 bridges just on the outskirts of London, both with the same design problems, built not long after each other. Now, here we're having a look around the development around Battersea Power Station. We have covered here previously with some of the light displays and sculptures that they've had here, but this part we haven't, which is the regeneration underneath the railway bridge here at Battersea. I love coming to these parts of London where the regeneration has taken effect and it's really transformed areas of London which were once abandoned, and the regeneration here only started back in February 2014. With the regeneration, it's meant it's been easier to get to. Previously, prior to the regeneration, if you wanted to come to Battersea, you had to make an effort because you had to come by overground train. Of course, now we've got the new railway, which has been opened on the Northern Line, and I'll put a link to our video to that up in the top right hand corner. Plus, you can also get the river bus down here, and it's one of the last stops on the river bus, so you can get down here on the Thames very, very easily. The power station is still being regenerated, and it's due to be open in 2025, when there will be 3 floors of shops, bars and restaurants, including one whole floor entirely dedicated to food. With the regeneration, lots of flats have been built here, and prices start from £900,000. Yes, I did say that correctly. Now, the regeneration in the area has meant that underneath this bridge, which is the railway that takes you from Victoria to the south of England, all of the different arches have been filled up by different shops and bars, and also we're going to come across a cinema as well. I'm not being funny. If you're paying £900,000 for an apartment nearby, you're going to want some stuff nearby to do. So of the 2 bridges, which was your favourite? Let us know in the comments down below. And isn't it funny, you've got the Albert Bridge and also the originally opened Victoria Bridge as well. I never knew that until I did the research into this video. This is what I love about London's history. You're learning all the time. I hope you're enjoying the video, and if you have, do us a favour, would you give us a thumbs up? It would help us spread this video out to more people so that they can love London as well. If you like discovering secret places in London, then I'll put a link to our playlist up in the top right hand corner so you can discover more of London that others don't find. And yes, this is the Archlight Cinema, where you've got cinemas underneath the railway arches. I just hope it's well soundproof, so when you're watching something scary, all of a sudden a train doesn't go above and everything flies out of your hands. This is definitely a place that I'm going to have to come and visit. So, I hope you've enjoyed our look at both the Albert and Chelsea bridges and a bit of detail about their history as well. Or wobbly, of course. Now, if you like bridges in London, I've put a link to our video that we've done on the best 5 up in the top right hand corner.